Greetings, 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 family. Yes, sir. I hope all of you, wherever you may be in this beautiful world, I hope you're doing outstanding on this beautiful day. I really do. This is one of those backyard chronicle moments that I'm giving you. You know, I'm outside in the environment, so you know you have to deal with the noises, the dogs, and the things of that nature. So I hope the volume is loud enough for you for this beautiful message. So this message that I'm going to bring to you all today, family, is one called Life Reveals All. Life reveals whatever it is that you want to know. You just have to ask life. That's life's job. Period. Life's job is simply to reveal all. Life will reveal whatever you choose to want to know about you, whatever you choose to want to know about those around you, whatever it may be. Life reveals all. In parentheses, the lesson, the message that I'm giving to you today is value systems. Life revealed gave me a beautiful message about value systems. So this is what I'm going to share with you, the beautiful message that life gave me today about value systems. And basically, it's the value systems that people hold. That's just what it is, you see. And it's a profound, I'm talking about, it came to me, family. I was like, man, I need to get this to them. And, hopefully, it truly will be of help. So, let me tell you, how the message came to me about me and who I am. So, I'm a jack of many trades, as they say. I take pride in that because I consider myself to be very good, if not great, in the things that I've learned how to do. Period. Now, me being great don't mean I'm the only great one out there. There are others. There are others out there who are greater than me. So, but one of the beautiful traits that I have, traits that I say, is that of being a mechanic. I've always wanted to learn how to work on cars, how they work, how they function, how to fix them. I've always wanted to learn that. So, hey, when I was young, that was one of the goals that stayed with me as life went on. I eventually learned how to work on cars and I became a mechanic. So we're going to use that trade to, to give this beautiful message to you today. So remember I said life reveals all. So what life revealed to me today, earlier today when I woke up, is that the value systems that people hold. So what you have to overstand and understand is that everything in this life simply holds the value that people give it. It's that simple. That simple. Nothing more and nothing less. Everything in life holds the value system or holds the value that people give it, that people put in it. What's valuable to me will not be valuable to you. What's valuable to you will not be valuable to me and the others, vice versa. That's just how it is, period. Some people place a lot of value in material things. Others, their value system is placed in family, spending time with loved ones. Then you got others, their value system is, simply in their alone time, solitude. Others, their value system is obtaining knowledge, wanting to know and learn about things. So value system, everything in life only holds the value of the beholder. Period. The value that we give it. So here's where this beautiful message comes in, right, for me to deliver to you, fam. Because see, one thing you have to remember is this. We are all on the same journey, we're just on different paths. That's it. Everybody's on the same journey, the journey of life, right? As the beautiful Prince himself said, right? We're all on this same journey, right? This journey called life, different paths. And so what you have to come to realize is that everybody has their moment to shine. Everybody has their moment to, to be on stage, as I like to say, in the spotlight, right? To do whatever it is that you do best, whatever the event calls for. You are the star of the show. So you are on stage. It's hot out here. So what you got to remember is that everybody has their moment to be the headliner. Period. Where all the spotlights is going to be on you. That's just how it goes. But then there comes a time when you have to move over because there are others coming behind you. Younger generations coming behind you, to assume the same position, to be the headliner of the show. That's just how it goes. That's the cycle of life. So, a lot of people, their value system is about obtaining material things. For some, it's about having a lot of money. And then for others, it's about titles on the job and the workforce, this position, that position. The higher up the ladder that they go, the more value that they hold in themselves. Those with the material things, the more material things that they can obtain, the more value that they have in themselves. It's a sad, to me, from my perspective, that's a very sad view to have of yourself that is based upon the things that you can obtain in life and not solely based upon yourself. And the reason why it's sad to me, family, is because everything is about, it's like time. Nothing just comes to us. So you have to put in a lot of time and a lot of effort, to go out and obtain these things, whether it be the material things, the titles at work, the positions, you have to put in the time. And then you have to go to school and obtain the degrees and all that, to go in the workforce and get the titles. You see, so it's time and effort that has to be put into to obtain these things that you have. So that's why I say, to me, it's sad, because many people would rather put all of their time and effort and attention into obtaining things out in the world instead of applying that same energy and that same focus and having that same goal and learning about themselves. That's just my view, side note. So back to this thing about value systems. So again, I say, well, I'm going to use me as a mechanic, because that's one of the things I've learned to do in life. And so I'll use, a past experience of mine that I've had. Because you run across some characters. Trust me, when you certain things you're able to do in life, to be of service to others, you're going to run across a whole lot of characters. So this is what the ancestors, I like to say, gave to me of this beautiful message called value systems that life revealed to me. And life revealed this to me about those around me. You see, remember I said everybody has their own value systems. So here's the thing, right? Past experience that came, that life showed me. I knew there were individuals that I knew in the past, right, who their value system was all about material things, right? So they would literally, go out, work their ass off. They'll do overtime and whatever it may be, right, to go out and buy these material things that they wanted. Now, the price of the material things, right, didn't matter to them like it matters to me, because to them, the higher the price was, the more value the item had, which means the more value they had in themselves. Stay with me, family. I hope that makes sense. So the more valuable, expensive the item was, then the more value it had, which means the more value they had in themselves. They'll spend that money. That's the bottom line for them material things, them shoes, them clothes that look good, whatever the case may be, it don't matter. They're going to spend that money. Okay? But now these same individuals, right? When it came time to getting their cars fixed, right? And they had, good cars, nice cars, right? But when it came time to getting their cars fixed, right? They were always skeptical about spending the money, right, to get their cars fixed. We're talking about vehicles or transportation that take you wherever it is that you need to be to show off, to look good in those material things that you just bought, right? Transportation, especially here in my environment. Like I said, I live down here in FLA. So we don't hold, we don't have the transportation systems that a lot of y'all may have, like in the Midwest or just further up north, further up beyond, Tennessee and Carolinas, once you get to those areas where you have the subway systems and all of these beautiful systems where you don't, you really don't even need to have a car. A lot of people never learn how to drive. So that's what it is. So down here though, where you need transportation, every time individuals, right, needed their cars fixed, a lot of them would come to me. Reason being because me myself, I believe in being the example of change that I want to see in life around me. I believe in being that example of change. So with that being said, what I used to do, right, early on when I first learned how to work on cars, and this was like in, my earlier days, like coming right out of the military, which is where I learned to be a mechanic. So, coming right out of the military in my early 20s, 30s, I would fix people cars, right, and not charge a lot, really. When I say not charge a lot, give an example. Like if you go to the shop and they tell you the price to fix your vehicle, say would be $300. All right. Me, myself, I do it for $125. Easy, $125. Why, you say, T? Why would you do that? Well, because the example that I was trying to be at the time for my people is to show them how, listen, if we learn to work together, right, to help each other, we truly could do a lot better and be a lot better off as a whole if we simply learn to work together with each other. So I was that example, right? Plus, even looking at it from a business standpoint, because this is what I used to tell a lot of people, right? Looking at it from a business standpoint. Individuals that say, man, you $125 and it costs $3 something at the shop. T, you cheating yourself. No, I'm not cheating myself because for one, I love working on cars, period. So every different model that I get, hey, I'm learning something new, right? There's a new challenge that comes along. And I met every last challenge, every last one. Proud of myself for that. But this is the point that I made to them from a business standpoint. I say, look, you can go out trying to charge the same amount of money, right, that white folk have that have these shops, right? And if you're charging the same amount of money that they're charging, right, okay, you are basically going to make the same money that they are making. Keep in mind, family, these businesses, people that own these businesses, they don't make a whole lot of money on a consistent basis. Trust me, they don't. That's why you have what you have going on out here in the world. Me, myself, what I used to charge, oh my goodness, I stayed busy. I'm talking about, family, I stayed busy to the point where, some days I literally would have to tell people that would call, hey, not today. I need this time off. I need this time off. When it was time to fix on my cars, sometimes I didn't have the time to do it because, I was busy working on everybody else's cars. And this was over the weekend. And I had a job Monday through Friday. So it was like it started off on the weekend. Then the next thing you know, it was like a day or two out of the weekday. And then it ended up becoming I'm working on cars during the weekday, right when I get off of work, and Saturday and Sunday. So I had to, hey, listen, I need a couple of days work on my car, get it right. But needless to say, family, the money that that I would charge, hell, I was making more money than the shops, literally, period. Because hey, I'm charging right a lot less. It's just me, right? And again, remember I said I was good at what I did. So a lot of the tools that they have in the shop, that literally made it like some like to say made it easier. I like I would like to say that sometimes it makes you lazy because if you simply have every little tool that you need, right, and all at your disposal, then you really don't get challenged. I like to be challenged. So I didn't have nowhere near the tools that they have at the shop. And I was a mobile mechanic. So a lot of times, right, I would go to the individuals. At first, I would tell them to bring it to me, but then it was just, too cluttered, around the house. So I had to, hey, listen, I'll come to you. So I set everything up. So needless to say, family, this is how it worked out, right? Why I used to charge what I used to charge, right? Trying to be the example to my people that hey, we can do this and we can do that. But you got people in the world. This whole message is about value systems and what life reveals. So even as less as what I used to charge people, right, to fix their cars, you still had individuals that would want to hustle me and talk me down to paying less than that. Now remember what I told you about the individuals, right, who no matter what the price was to spend on clothes, right, clothes and shoes or whatever the material thing would be, it didn't matter. They gonna work and earn the money to get it because that's their value system. So here's a crazy thing, right? Example, this is a true story. So let's use, right, a good example again, right, to show you. My friend spending money on the clothes and things. I remember one time, right, my friend, there was these shoes, this nice fit, that he wanted to get. He had to have, because there was an event that would be coming up, and he was gonna go to it. That's the bottom line, period. So the cost of the jewelry, the clothes, and the shoes and all, to go to the event, right? But the cost of the jewelry and the shoes and all that was like $1,000. Yeah, literally $1,000. Okay. Well, they say when you work, you do what you want with your money. So, hey, he went out, he was gonna get it. Occasionally I would say to him, man, really? Yeah, he would do it. Okay. Though I remember now, one occasion again, for the event. So he was gonna buy the jewelry, the clothes, and the shoes. He had that. He got all of that. All right. So lo and behold, though, there was a time that came around when his car wasn't working right. So he came to me, right? He asked me to look at it. I was like, all right, I'll look at it and tell you what's wrong with it. Because anybody that knew me knew that, hey, if you come to me, they knew that they could come to me and I would tell them honestly what's wrong with their car. Whether I fix it or not, I can tell you what's wrong with it so that even if I can't fix it and you take it to the shop, you can tell them exactly what to do to your car, nothing more, nothing less. So a lot of people would come to me, anyway, to tell them what's wrong with their car. So, in looking at what was wrong with my friend's car at the time, I told him, I say, listen, this issue that you got with your car now, it's gonna cost you $1,000 to fix. I said, cause here's the thing, the part costs $500. Period. Told him there's several parts that you need, and they're gonna add up to $500. Trust me, I know. I say, and then you got to look at the labor. So the time it's going to take an individual, right? We're talking about one that's good enough, whether it be me or whoever, but if they're good enough, it's still going to take them, right, several hours or so to do this work, right? You go to shops, I know shops back then would probably be like, I guess like $30, $35 an hour. As time goes on, it moves up the ladder. It moves up the ladder. So you get calculations that, based upon the hourly wage of labor and the hours, this is how the labor cost is calculated. So I don't know what the hourly rate was at the time, but basically it was gonna take, a good 3 hours or more to do this work. So that was $500. Man, when I told my friend that, lo and behold, my boy looked at me, what? $1,000? I said, hell no, T. I said, I'm telling you, man, it's gonna cost you $1,000. I didn't offer to do it. I just simply told him, yeah, $1,000. So then, right, my friend hesitated. He's like, man, that's a lot of money. I just looked at him, right? I just looked at him. Because I'm like, man, you just spent, I'm saying to myself, I didn't say to him, but I'm like, this fool just spent $1,000 for some jewelry, some clothes, and some shoes just to go to an event. Didn't grumble or complain or nothing about that $1,000, but now the transportation that you need to get you around, to get you to work, to that event and wherever, same $1,000, that's too much money. This is what I'm saying to myself, fam, in my head, right? So my friend was like, I told him everything that was wrong with it. I said, this the issue with your car, my boy, right? So, I was working on cars that day, so I told him, yeah, you can stop by and I'll let you know. So when I, told him what it was and then I told him the price, so I went back to working on what I was working on. Like I said, I didn't offer to do the work because I understood his value system long before that. So I just told him what was wrong with it. So after he paused for a while I'm working on another car and whatnot, so then, he asked me, he said, well, T, can you fix it? I say, listen, man, I can fix the car, but what you really want to know is, am I going to charge you the same as what they charge, right, at the shop to fix it? And I looked him square in his eyes and his face and told him, yes, I'm going to charge you that because I just told you this is going to take about 3.5 hours to do, period. I said, that's for somebody that knows what they doing like me, period. Now, if you're dealing with somebody who's not as skilled, right, who's not as skilled, calling themselves a mechanic, it's going to take them longer. Greater risk involved when it takes you longer than, the specified time to do something. There's a whole lot of risk that, that come into play then. I say, so that's basically what you want to know is, am I going to do it for the same price of what I told you it's going to cost? Because keep in mind now, I got, I had connections, still got connections. So, I can get parts a lot cheaper, the same brand new parts, because I know individuals in the industry that can give me such discounts. Wasn't going to give him a discount, though, because I understood his value system, you see? So, he sat there and come on, T, come on, what? I'm telling you, just the same price. That's what it's going to be. So he was like, man, you can't do. I say, no, sir. I said, I don't have the tools that they have at the shop, but I'm good at what I do. So I'm going to be able to do it in the same time frame that it takes them to do it, period. And he knows me. He knows that he knows I'm worth my salt. If I say I can do it, it's going to be done. But the thing is, right, he wanted me to do it for a lot less. I went back to working on the car I was working on. I said, my boy, I just told you what the issue is with your car. You got the price. Listen, I'll holler at you. Went back to doing what I was doing. If it hadn't have been the fact that I knew this cat for a while, we went to school together, come out of high school and all together. So I kind of learned him then, right? So if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have no longer been friends, period. No, I would have dismissed him would have just simply dismissed him, but because I knew the kind of person he was and us growing up together, I just, hey, listen, told him what it was, and then I went on about my business. If, you want to get it done at this price and that price, holler at me. If not, take it to the shop, tell them this is exactly what the problem is, right? Then you handle it from there. That's the bottom line, period. So here's the message, family. Pay attention. Please pay close attention. Value systems, right? This is how you learn people around you too. This is how you learn how they truly value you, how they value the relationship that you all have. So with my friend, when I let him know I was not going to do it for less than, this is what the price is, because normally I would. But this job really required some attention. Plus, for me to be able to do it in that same time frame that they charge at the shop, I have to give him more time. Meaning, the time that it would have took to fix his car, that's like 4 other jobs, right? That I have to miss out on. Because remember what I told you, I charge less than what the shops charge, right? So I'm just turning over money, doing the job like it ain't nothing. So that's 4 other jobs that I had to simply cancel and miss out on because I needed that time, right? That time in order to fix his car. So that's another reason why I simply held to my guns, with charging what I was charging, because normally I don't charge what the shops charge. So he, grumbled a little bit like he always do. All right, T, I'll let you. Want to, see if he could find somebody to do it for cheaper. What it showed me about him, family, like I said, I already knew. But this is a lesson for some of y'all that meet new people that will come into your life, or whatever the case may be. The fact that he really didn't value me, right? He didn't value our relationship enough. He didn't value me enough as a friend, right? That he went seeking to find somebody else to do the same quality of work that I do, but for a lot less. Individuals that you have in your circle, if they value you the way you value them, they are not going to devalue you and your skill. They are not going to devalue you like that, period. Because they know the value of the relationship between the two of you, just that alone. And then they know who you are as a person. They know your heart. They know how you will help. How you'll give them the shirt off your back. So they're not going to devalue you or the relationship. But when you run across those just, like this clown was, his value system is solely into the material things, right? Over anybody, period. Like I said, we grew up together, went to school together. He knew my skill set, know what I'm able to do. No, he knows. But he didn't value me enough, you see. He didn't value me enough. He didn't value my friendship enough that he went to look for somebody to do it cheap. Cool, it didn't bother me none at all. Life just revealed to me, you see. Life revealed to me about that individual. Because keep in mind, every time that the individual would ask me to look at his car to tell him what's wrong with it, whether I went to him or he came to me, I could have charged him simply for the time of looking to tell you what's wrong with your car. A lot of times that's what they do with shops. You bring it up there, they gonna charge you, right? They'll say, but maybe $35 to look at it. If you let us fix it, we'll apply that $35 to the cost of fixing your car. But if not, $35 will tell you what's wrong with it. I never charged anybody, family, to tell them what's wrong with their car. That's just who I am, period. Why? Why? Because if your car already needs work on it, then hell, I'm not going to charge you, right, just to tell you what's wrong with your car and then you still got to get it fixed. Nah, I don't, like I said, that's not me. I'm not that kind of person. I'm just not. On top of that, anybody who's ever done business with me knows that I never take money, right? I never take money from them until the job is finished and until, you get in your vehicle, you drive it, you see that you are pleased, okay, then you pay me. That's the bottom line. That's just me. I never take money until I'm done with the job and the customer is satisfied. Again, you see, all things work together, all things. Remember, I always say, I wanted to be the example of the beautiful change in life around me and life with my people. So everything that I did, it all tied into that, period. And that's just how it was. So I hope this message really helps somebody. I really hope that it helps some of y'all, family. Life will reveal to you whatever it is that you want to see about yourself or about others. You just have to pay attention. Because at the same time, right, what life revealed to me about the dude I was just telling you about, that I knew who he was, and what life showed me about him when it came to that, his value system was even greater than anybody. So that means I know, being in a relationship with a woman, you value your material things more than you do that woman. And I've told him that before, though. I've told him that. Learn to be more observant, family, to what life is showing you. Because a lot of y'all are trying to be in relationships with individuals that you already know life is showing you just how they are. Life is showing you this. But for whatever the reason, you seem to think that y'all can be in a relationship and y'all can make it work. So you go and engage in that. Then when you end up being scarred, right, when you end up being really, really hurt, then you want to cuss and fuss and blame the individual, and then blame all individuals of that species. But life revealed to you. Life was showing you and trying to show you about the individual, but you wasn't paying attention. That's all it was. You simply wasn't paying attention. So family, hey, I'll simply end it there because I believe I got the message across. Always know this, family. That is not just me. It's not my desire. It's soul's desire. It's soul's desire, and everybody that's connected with soul on the same frequency. If you're connected with me on the same frequency, then it's soul's desire that we walk well, that you take the wisdom, that you gain the knowledge, that you apply it to yourself, and you walk the very best that you can in this life, family. That, plain and simple. It is soul's desire that you walk well, family. So take this message on this so-called 3-day holiday weekend. Go and enjoy it for whatever it's worth. And until we meet again, family, always know you never walk by yourself. I'm always with you, always in spirit. Love y'all. Take care. Peace.